Hi, Rockstar readers. So, boys and girls, you are done with the word detective unit. You are official word detectives. Give yourselves a silent cheer with me. Are you ready? We are ready to move into a new unit, and this is one of my favorite units because we are about to learn so much about the world around us. So, we're going to start talking about nonfiction text, nonfiction books. Can you say that word with me? Nonfiction. So, we've been reading a lot of fiction books. A fictional text or book is made up by an author. It comes from the author's imagination. It's not true. A nonfiction text is written to teach or inform or explain about real things. Let's take a look at a little chart. This chart shows us the difference between fiction and nonfiction. The way Miss Henderson likes to remind myself about fiction is fiction, fake. They both start with F. Nonfiction is when you're learning. So for fiction, we just said it's not real. It's made up by the author. It's just story talk. You're going to read a fiction book to enjoy. It's so important in a fiction book. You're reading from the beginning all the way to the end of the book because you're learning about the characters. So there's characters, the setting where it takes place. There's a problem. And usually the problem gets solved, which is called a solution. There's also illustrations, which means somebody painted or colored or drew pictures. I want you to think about all the fiction books that you've read this year. Books that had big problems. Books that had really awesome characters. Characters that talk. I want you to take all that for a minute and I want you to pause it in your brain. And now we're going to start talking about nonfiction. Nonfiction books are real. You are going to learn real facts in your nonfiction books. You read nonfiction books to learn. And the cool part is you can read nonfiction texts in any order. You don't have to read from beginning to end like in our fiction text. In our nonfiction, there are real photographs. There's charts and graphs to help us learn. And all this week, we're going to start talking about nonfiction text features. So, some of those are table of contents, an index, a glossary, bold words, labels, all of those different nonfiction text features you're going to find in your nonfiction books. So, boys and girls, I want to take a look for a second at two different books. Look closely. I'm going to hold up this one first. What do you notice? Take a look here. They are real photographs. Let's look here. We know Clifford, the big red dog. It's just a picture, an illustration that somebody drew. You got it. So I want you to think for a minute. Just by looking at the front cover and reading the title, Clifford's Tricks, do you think this is fiction? Just a story, a fake story? Or do you think this is nonfiction? You're going to learn real facts. Take a second. All right, what do you think? This is fiction. This is a fake story. An author made this up. There's a setting in this story where it takes place. Right now, it looks like they're outside. There are characters. We have Clifford. We have Emily, Elizabeth. The characters talk. There's a problem in this story. The solution is at the end. The problem gets solved. So this is a fiction fake story. Let's go over to our dogs book. Let's take a look. Oh, it has a table of contents. Look at all of the real photographs, boys and girls. It says what dogs look like. Oh, another amazing photograph of a dog with labels. It's labeling the different parts of a dog. Here, you're learning about what dogs eat. So just by taking a sneak peek at this book, I want you to think. Fiction, fake, or nonfiction, you're going to learn real facts. What do you think? Take a second to think. All right, what do you think, boys and girls? Nonfiction. This is a nonfiction text. You are going to learn so many facts in this book about dogs. They both are about dogs, but this is fiction fake, a story, and this is nonfiction where you're going to learn facts. Awesome job, boys and girls. Take a second to kiss your brain. That's a lot of new information. So, now that we just learned about that, I need your help. And I need your help by I'm going to read something out loud, and you're going to help me figure out if it's about a fiction book or a nonfiction book. Are you ready? Photos. Real photographs. What do you think? Non-fiction. Oops, I apologize. In non-fiction books, there are real photographs. All right, here comes the next one. You can read in any order, fiction or nonfiction. Nice job, nonfiction. It's okay to jump around in nonfiction text. There's a problem and a solution. Fiction or nonfiction? Fiction, boys and girls. There are no problems and solutions in our nonfiction, but in fiction, that's when we see them. True facts. Fiction or nonfiction? Nonfiction. That's an important one. We are learning real facts. How about illustrations? So just pictures. Yes, fiction. Nice job. How about you have to read in order from beginning to end? Fiction. How about text features? Like a table of contents, a glossary? Yes, nonfiction. We will talk about those this week. How about you read this for entertainment? So the author wrote this made-up story for entertainment. That's a tricky one, but that is fiction. Ooh, are you ready? Made up. You got it, boys and girls. Made up is fiction. The author made it up. Last but not least, informs, which means it's teaching you. Yes, nonfiction. Wow, you are all on a roll. So, boys and girls, you have 2 jobs today. Your first job is to read on Raz Kids for 15 minutes. If you are not reading on Raz Kids, boys and girls, please make sure you're sending your teachers pictures of the books that you're reading. We want to see all of those awesome books. Then, your job is to fill out the page below. You're going to look at the different covers, front covers of books, and read the titles. Then, you're going to think, is this a fiction? So just a fake story? Or is this a nonfiction text? A book that I'm going to learn real facts in, and you will drag to match. All right, happy reading. On Raz Kids, hopefully you can find some nonfiction texts. And I'm so excited to start talking about nonfiction text features tomorrow. Bye, boys and girls.